Today I'm going to make some rolls, and I'm going to warm up 1 cup of milk in my little pot here. Well, the milk has started forming a skin, and it's starting to just barely bubble around the edges of the pot. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off, and I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of shortening. I have made these with butter as well, but this time I'm going to follow my mom's recipe and use shortening. I'm going to add also a 1/2 cup of sugar and let all this melt in and cool down, and stir it from time to time. Well, my mixture has cooled down for about 30 minutes. It's about 125 degrees, I believe. And I'm going to add 3 eggs. Mix those in very quickly. And that will cool the temperature down a little more. And add the yeast. 1 package of dry yeast, or you can use instant rapid rise yeast. Mix that in. And some flour. I have 4 cups of flour measured here. Add in about half of it, or 1/3 of it. Just add in some of it and stir that flour in. And I'm going to let this rest, and because I want to see some bubbles from the yeast. So just mix that in, and I'm going to let this rest and see if it becomes nice and foamy, which I know it will. But that's just the way I do it. I changed my mind, and I'm not going to let that rise or get bubbly. I'll go ahead and add my teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add the rest of the flour. That's 4 cups of flour, and mix this up. This is a very wet, sticky dough, so just mix it the best you can. And this is my mom's recipe, and it's an old recipe that called for a scalding of the milk. Now, the reason people scalded milk years and years ago is because milk was not pasteurized like it is now. So it's a step that you really don't have to do, but I do like doing it anyway for the yeast, because the yeast likes to be warm, and nostalgic reasons, sort of. So get this mixed up the best that you can. Well, I have that all mixed up. I'm going to put plastic wrap over the top. Now, over the top, I'm going to let this sit in a warm place. Put it on my stove, my oven, and let this rise until it gets double in size, probably about 2 hours. Well, my dough has risen. It's been the 2 hours, and punch it down. Punch it down. Get a knife, a table knife. I'm going to try and separate it into 3 pieces. Does not have to be perfect, but try your best. Yeah, my countertop is textured, and so I roll things out on a piece of plastic. Excuse me. And so here's my rolling pin. Since it's pretty sticky, I'm going to use plenty of flour here. And take 1/3 of the dough roll this out. I have that rolled out. I'm going to brush it with melted butter. It's about 12 inches, sort of round. You don't have to be perfect. Get this all buttered. You're going to cut it into pieces. This is the hardest part. I try to get 12 out of it. So I'm going to go like this, like this. Get your 12 pieces. It's easier to cut the quarters than to try and cut it all, in my opinion. Okay, and take it and roll it up. You want to put this on a greased baking sheet. But I'm going to, instead of a greased one, I'm going to go ahead and use my my pad. So just get all these rolled up and put it onto your baking dish, your baking sheet. Then once you have a dozen of them, this makes 3 dozen, of course, because this is 1/3 of the recipe. And brush them with butter again once you have them on your sheet. Let them double in size. Well, my first pan of the rolls has doubled in size, and I'm going to put this in my 350 degree oven that's preheated. Well, these baked for 10 minutes in the 350, and I've let them cool down. We're going to put these in a plastic bag here. We're going to freeze them. Then, when we want to bake them, we'll get them out, let them thaw. It only takes like a half hour. Let them thaw. We'll put them. You can bake them again for 5 minutes at 350. Well, today is the day that I'm going to bake these, so I got them out of the freezer, and I put them in the fridge overnight, and they've been sitting here for 30 minutes just to get room temperature. They're going in my 350 degree oven. Here they are out of the oven. They were in there 5 minutes and they smell so good. So nice. And my mom always brushed them with the melted butter. Then she would serve these in like a basket, a bread basket, lined with a pretty kitchen cloth towel. And then of course the butter came around next. And I hope you try this. These are one of my favorites from my childhood, and I'll have other hints and different things in the description, so please look at that. I'll tell you how to make them in another way. And thanks so much for watching.